All right, everybody, welcome back to the show. I'm sure we're all pretty familiar with the Gulf of Mexico, right? Beaches, sunshine, maybe some memories of a certain spring break trip. I know I do. But
With spring break.
yeah, well, some of us are old enough to remember those days. But have you noticed people calling it something different lately? Like the Gulf of America.
Oh, yeah.
It's causing a bit of a storm online.
Yeah.
And that's why we're here today, to sort of explore why this is so much more than just like a simple name change,
Right.
on a map.
Yeah, this is way more than just like you open up your map app and the name's different now, This is like a really interesting sort of debate. And it's not just academics, it's not just people in universities talking about this. You've got geographers and historians and then just like everyday people on social media.
Right. Yeah, it's all over the place. I've seen it everywhere.
Really digging into this, like, what does this mean? And it makes sense because like naming conventions in geography have almost never been neutral. Yeah, so like throughout history, they're really intertwined with like power dynamics and cultural identity and even colonialism.
Right.
That historical practice where powerful nations kind of exerted control over other territories. And so like, it's interesting. They're calling this like a rebranding, which is kind of a funny way to think about it.
Yeah, like it's a new product or something.
Right.
Like the Gulf of America.
Right. It makes you think, like, who gets to own a place, especially one as geographically and culturally vast as the Gulf?
Right.
And that's kind of where the arguments get really interesting.
Yeah.
Like, on both sides.
Yeah.
So, like, critics of the name change, they're saying that getting rid of Gulf of Mexico wipes away this incredibly unique cultural blend of the region, especially for Mexico and Cuba.
Right.
And undermines its economic significance.
Yeah, it's almost like a loss of identity in a way, right?
A real loss of identity.
When you think about like the people who live and work along the Gulf, what does this change mean for them, for their sense of self?
Yeah.
It must feel pretty personal.
Yeah.
But then on the other hand, you have people saying that Gulf of America is actually more inclusive.
Right.
Because it acknowledges that the Gulf impacts the whole continent.
Yeah.
Not just the countries that border it.
Right.
So is there like a right answer here? Like could both sides have a point?
It's definitely not a clear-cut situation, and that's what makes it so fascinating.
Yeah.
But here's where it gets really impactful.
Okay.
Think about how many millions of people use Google Maps every single day.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I use it all the time.
Yeah.
I'm sure you do too.
All the time.
Yeah.
Even if this Gulf of America thing never becomes officially recognized, Google Maps has a huge influence on how we perceive the world. It's like a form of soft power,
What's that?
That's that ability to influence others, not through force, but through cultural or ideological means.
Oh, so you're saying that even a seemingly small change on a map can have huge real-world consequences.
Exactly.
Wow.
It's not just about a name.
Right.
It's about history and culture and even digital power dynamics.
Really makes you think, huh?
And this brings up a really important question for all of us.
Okay.
Think about the names of places you know well. What stories do those names tell?
Right.
And who gets to tell those stories in our increasingly digital world?
That's something to think about, yeah.
Yeah.
All right, everybody. Well, thanks for tuning in to another show. Be sure to check us out. Next time, we'll be talking about something new and just as fascinating, I'm sure. But for now, thanks for listening.
Yeah, thanks, everybody.
And we'll see you next time.
See ya.